Dear finance professionals and students, welcome to podcast of FCA Deepak Rao, a practicing chartered accountant. Weekly digest for week 3 of August 2024. The government will soon seek cabinet approval for a new shipbuilding policy that includes introducing a recycling credit note scheme, a fixed rate of subsidy for 10 years, and the establishment of 3 maritime clusters in Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, and Odisha. This is part of the centre's push to grab a larger share of the global shipbuilding market. It is proposed that a credit note equivalent to 40% of the scrap value of a ship being dismantled in an Indian breaking yard would be given to fleet owners, both Indian and global. This can be reimbursed against the cost of construction of a new vessel at an Indian yard. CEO of Prosus and Naspers affirmed continued investment in Indian startups despite a 500 million loss from Byju's. Highlighting Prosus's commitment to technology and innovation, he said Prosus is scouting for deals in the buzzy generative AI space, along with picking bets in online marketplaces and backing startups targeting the country's next 300 million users. Electric two-wheeler manufacturer Hero Electric has resumed production at its factory as of July, producing scooters in small batches. The firm is now seeking a fresh fund infusion of Rs 100 to Rs 200 crore from both existing and new investors, including private equity funds, to gradually increase production to previous levels. SEBI has notified an amendment to the SEBI Alternative Investment Funds Regulations 2012. A proviso to Regulation 13(5) has been substituted. As per the amended norms, a large value close-ended alternative investment fund for accredited investors may now be permitted to extend its tenure up to 5 years, subject to the approval of 2/3 of the unit holders by the value of their investment in the large value fund for accredited investors. Earlier, no such restriction was prescribed. Oracle Stays, the parent company of Oyo, has successfully raised Rs 1,457 crore from a consortium of investors in its latest funding round. The funding round, part of Oyo Series G, saw the company secure nearly Rs 1,040 crore in new capital. This follows an earlier raise of Rs 417 crore in the same series, completing the round. The new funds will be allocated to support Oyo's growth and global expansion efforts. The company's valuation remains at $2.4 billion, consistent with the valuation from the initial Series G tranche issued to Incred in July. The Central Board of Direct Taxes has launched a comprehensive scrutiny and verification of high-value outward foreign remittances of above Rs 6 lakh to identify discrepancies in remittance data and likely tax evasion. The move follows detection of cases where foreign remittances and expenditures did not align with the income declared by individuals and lapses in tax collected at source. The board has asked the field formations to start the verification process and scrutiny of Form 15CC, a quarterly disclosure statement of outward remittances filed by authorized dealers to the Income Tax Department. Companies are moving swiftly to buy back shares before new tax rules proposed in the budget take effect on October 1st. This will tax the buyback amount in the hands of shareholders as per their tax slabs. Currently, such transactions are taxed at about 23% at the company level. Within just the 3 weeks since the budget announcement on July 23rd, 15 companies have already announced buybacks, compared with 18 that did so between January 1st and July 23rd. Bajaj Finance Limited intended to raise up to $500 million from overseas markets. The company is negotiating with at least 4 foreign banks for terms of the loan, which will be priced against the secured overnight financing rate. This move comes after new RBI rules limited domestic borrowing options for shadow financiers. The Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs has announced the launch of its second special All India drive to tackle fake GST registrations. Issued through Instruction Number 02/2024, GST dated August 12, 2024, these new guidelines aim to bolster the government's efforts in curbing fraudulent GST registrations and ensuring compliance within the tax system. The Goods and Services Tax Network has rolled out the GSTR 1A form, a significant update that allows taxpayers to make necessary changes, corrections, and amendments to the data filled in the GSTR 1 for the same month. This new facility aims to streamline the GST filing process, reducing errors, and ensuring more accurate tax reporting. SEBI takes note of the Hindenburg research report dated August 10, 2024 and advises investors to exercise caution. SEBI refutes claims of inaction against Adani Group, citing ongoing and completed investigations, and clarifies that any regulatory changes follow a rigorous consultation process. SEBI also emphasizes its commitment to transparency, investor protection, and addressing conflicts of interest while dismissing allegations of favoritism towards any conglomerate. IBBI mandates that all valuation reports under the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code must include a unique Valuation Report Identification Number or VRIN to ensure authenticity. Accordingly, the IBBI has developed a new online module that allows registered valuers to generate VRINs for each report. Stakeholders can verify report authenticity using VRIN on the IBBI website. The Union Government may consider extending the import management system for laptops and other IT hardware products for a few months. The current deadline for the system ends on September 30th. An extension, if agreed upon, would provide clarity and stability to the industry, particularly at a time when the domestic manufacturing ecosystem for these products is not yet robust. The government is considering a proposal to increase ethanol prices for the next season commencing November 2024, while it aims to achieve the 20% blending target by 2025-26. The revision of ethanol prices would be based on the fair and remunerative price of sugarcane, and the price revision is aimed at meeting blended targets. Ajay Singh, the promoter of SpiceJet, is set to reduce his shareholding in the beleaguered airline by over 10% to raise approximately Rs 3,000 crore. Despite the dilution, Singh will remain the largest shareholder, with his stake expected to fall to 30 to 35%. The airline aims to issue new shares to investors to bolster its capital base. SpiceJet, grappling with financial challenges and operational issues, hopes that the infusion of funds will help stabilize its operations and attract investors amid a robust demand for air travel in India. Bankers are sweating over what is likely to be a tough time in the next fiscal year, as the Reserve Bank of India is expected to unleash stringent rules, tightening provisioning requirements for project finance, introducing a new expected credit loss framework, and imposing a higher liquidity coverage ratio for deposits to hedge against sharp outflows through digital channels. The central bank is expected to introduce these rules later this year, and bankers are worried they will hurt profitability in the medium term. On August 12, 2024, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs issued notification number GSR 492E, which introduces the company's Indian Accounting Standards Amendment Rules 2024. This update brings significant changes to the Indian Accounting Standards or Ind AS, initially established in 2015. Key changes under the new rules include: Number 1. Modifications to Ind AS 101. This amendment updates the guidelines for first-time adoption of Ind AS, aiming to simplify and clarify reporting requirements for companies transitioning to these standards. Number 2. Revisions to Ind AS 103. Changes in Ind AS 103 pertain to business combinations, refining the principles for accounting for acquisitions and mergers to ensure more accurate financial reporting. And number 3. Removal of Ind AS 104. The amendment rules eliminate Ind AS 104, which previously dealt with insurance contracts, signaling a shift in the regulatory framework for insurance accounting. RBI has updated the risk weight guidelines for housing finance companies. Accordingly, risk-weighted assets computed for undisbursed amount of housing loans, other loans, must be capped at the risk-weighted asset computed on a notional basis for equivalent amount of the disbursed loan. Further, the risk weight of fund-based and non-fund-based exposures to commercial real estate residential building, which are classified as standard, must be 75%. Travel tech firm OYO has reported its first ever net profit at Rs 229 crore in financial year 24 as per its latest annual report. In a post on X on Wednesday, Ritesh Agarwal, OYO founder, said that the numbers have exceeded his earlier estimate of Rs 100 crore for the 23-24 fiscal year. Car discounts have doubled from August last year and are likely to stay high through the festive season till end of December, as car makers and dealers rush to liquidate a huge pile of inventory and slowing sales. These are the highest discounts seen in the local market since financial year 20, when the industry rolled out a slew of promotional offers to liquidate inventory ahead of the transition to Bharat Stage 6 emission standards. Hindustan Zinc, a Vedanta Group company, is reportedly planning a special dividend of Rs 8,000 crore to its shareholders in the current fiscal year. The company's board is expected to meet on Tuesday to approve the special dividend payment. The total amount, approximately Rs 2,400 crore or 30%, is projected to benefit the central government and contribute to its non-tax revenue for the fiscal year. 1 in 5 under construction homes totaling to over 5 lakh units have not been delivered, as 1,981 projects across 44 cities are stalled in the last 8 years, according to listed data analytics firm PropEquity. The number of stalled units have increased by 9% to 5,08,000 from 4,66,000 units in 2018. The remaining 4 under-constructed homes have been delivered after substantial delay of 3 to 4 years. Looking to monetize the consumer base it has acquired through its used car sales, SoftBank-backed firm Car24 has launched a super app consolidating ancillary services such as vehicle repairs, financing, on-demand chauffeur booking, insurance payments, FASTag distribution, and service history record. The National Financial Reporting Authority, or NFRA, has identified preliminary audit quality issues in its ongoing inspections of major audit firms. NFRA Chairman Ajay Bhushan Prasad Pandey noted that while some positive changes have been made, Particularly in addressing conflicts of interest, more improvements are needed. The NFRA is inspecting 7 audit firms this year, with plans to increase the number further. The NFRA is also working with the Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs to enhance communication and training for audit committees of listed companies. The Union Cabinet on Friday approved key metro rail projects worth around Rs 30,000 crore in Bengaluru, Thane and Pune. Briefing journalists after the cabinet meeting, Union Railways Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw said these crucial projects will augment urban infrastructure in these cities. All 3 projects are expected to be completed by 2029. Besides these metro projects, the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs approved development of 2 new civil enclaves at Bagdogra Airport in West Bengal and Bhita in Bihar. These 2 will be developed at a combined cost of nearly Rs 3,000 crore. The Central Board of Direct Taxes, the apex body overseeing direct tax collections in India, has reportedly launched an extensive investigation into high-value foreign remittances exceeding Rs 6 lakh. As per reports, this move aims to identify discrepancies between taxpayers' declared incomes and the actual amounts remitted overseas. The CBDT's crackdown targets potential mismatches between the information disclosed by taxpayers and the data available on foreign remittances. This scrutiny comes in light of growing concerns about undeclared incomes and unreported foreign transactions, which could lead to tax evasion. Solar manufacturers expecting a multifold growth for coming years. In view of the target of installing 1 crore household rooftop solar panels under the PM Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana, manufacturers are bullish on the multifold growth in solar panel installations. Furthermore, solar panel manufacturers are also hoping for a policy change in European countries on the lines of the US, which may open the European market for India. The Reserve Bank of India on Friday flagged regulatory violations by some non-banking financial companies, peer-to-peer lending platforms, promoting it to revise the guidelines that include prohibiting credit enhancements and capping aggregate exposure at Rs 50 lakh. These violations, including promoting P2P lending as investment products, offering liquidity options, and functioning as deposit takers and lenders rather than just acting as intermediaries. According to the RBI, NBFC P2P lending platforms are supposed to act as an intermediary, providing an online marketplace to the participants in P2P lending. The regulator has added new provisions to the master directions that will come into effect in 3 months. According to the new guidelines, such platforms are prohibited from providing credit enhancements or guarantees, and any loss of principal or interest must be borne by the lenders with appropriate disclosures required. The RBI has also mandated that such platforms cannot cross-sell insurance products beyond those specific to the loan and must not engage in practices related to credit enhancement or guarantees. This podcast is sponsored by Sound of CA. We share because we care. Vande Mataram, Jai Hind.